Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Michael Hirst and Donal about Billy the Kid, which is going to be premiering on Epix April 24th. Gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Oh, great pleasure. Nice to meet you.
This is exciting, Michael. This is really, there's a lot at play with this series. And I'm just curious, when, it's decided that the series is going to be made, there's a lot happening. What is the first kind of conversation in terms of what you really want to be a focal point for this story of Billy the Kid?
Well, it's rather obvious to say this, but the focal point is Billy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Billy, is in nearly every scene.
Yeah.
So he's driving this. And the truth is that, we had to cast a very young actor, relatively unknown actor for the role. And so that's a big gamble.
Yeah.
Because he's going to carry a heavy burden,
Yeah.
But you don't want him to look as if he's carrying a heavy burden. You want him to look as if he's really enjoying himself, which he does enjoy himself. And we were, I was going to say lucky to get Tom Blyth, but we weren't lucky at all. He was the right person, the right actor for the role. And he kind of walked into our lives. So he wanted to do it. He proved to us that he was going to be able to do it. He looks like Billy the Kid, which is an added bonus. And everything kind of fell into place around that.
Absolutely. And Donald, to add to that, I find it really interesting because of the fact that, like I say, Billy is the focal point, but it's such a prominent, iconic figure, the outlaw. Like, everyone knows about him. So you have to think there's going to be so many characters, so many things that happen with such a big character.
And I think what's special about this Billy the Kid, people think they know him and they think they know all about him, but they actually don't. And what Michael has done is he's gone into the psychology of Billy the Kid and everything that formed the legend that we grew to know, and the things that actually made up this very complicated, fascinating man that you're going to learn in this show that you've never known before. That's what it's really revelatory and very, very interesting.
Michael, I'm not going to sugarcoat this question. I mean, for you specifically, because different people, I mean, are origin stories difficult to develop, in your opinion?
No, this wasn't difficult in that sense in any way.
Because there's so much to set up, right?
Well, yeah, but I have an academic background.
Yep.
So the research bit is what I enjoy. And out of the research come the storylines, the characters, the time, the place, and I'm just watching these things emerge, and they're giving me insights into my central character. And these insights fill me with joy and excitement. Yep. I mean, I can't wait to get writing about him and get to know him better. And of course, what I discovered from the research was that everything I thought was true about Billy wasn't true, and that I really didn't know who he was. And I'm discovering this enormously sensitive, rather moral young man who loved his mother very much, I mean, who had a beautiful singing voice, who played the guitar. I mean, goodness knows, and this is one of the most famous outlaws and killers in history. So for me, every day of writing about him was a joy. Absolutely.
Donald, it's no surprise. The Westerns are huge. They're so popular. There's such an appeal. In your opinion specifically, why is there such a big appeal for Westerns? Why do you think they become so popular, in your opinion? I'm curious about that.
That's a really interesting question. I mean, I don't know, maybe there's a yearning to return to a simpler time, to remember from whence we came, to remember kind of how this country was formed, and to kind of return to those basic things. And the country's been in a lot of turmoil, and we're kind of examining values and things like that. And that's one thing I think that makes our show very relevant, is Billy dealt with a lot of things that are hot issues today, whether it was discrimination. He was an Irish immigrant and his family was discriminated against. And as they came west, he saw what was going on with Native Americans and Mexicans. Yep. He really bonded with those people and really empathized with them. So I think there are a lot of things that make it relevant in the world today.
Absolutely. And I also think that Westerns are mythic stories. Yeah. And I love writing mythic, big, meaningful sagas and stories. And through those stories, you understand a lot of things. You understand America better. You understand, so in a sense, the Western is such a classical sort of myth that, Star Wars is really a Western, I mean, so many things.
I've heard people even say that,
myths of the West. And so I'm plugging into that. I did, although I'm English, I did American studies and literature and at various universities. And it's what I love about America. America's a mythic country, and should be.
But the Westerns, they've always been around. Even when I was growing up, there was always amazing bodies of work in TV and film in Westerns. But I've seen a big boom in Western content. I have seen that. That's why I asked that, Donald.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely true. I think it's always kind of ebbed and flowed in terms of, coming in and out of popularity, as it were. And we're definitely in a fertile time for Westerns.
Absolutely. Michael, the obvious answer to this question is, you hope they enjoyed escapism and everything. When we dive deep into it a little bit more, when people get to watch on Epix on the 24th, Billy the Kid, what are you hoping to get out of it, takeaway wise?
I want the audience, after they've seen the show, watched Billy and understood what made Billy, what kind of a person he was, really, in reality, I want the audience to love him as much as I love him.
That's very well. Donald, do you want to add to that a little bit takeaway wise?
I think that's fantastic. And I wholeheartedly agree. And I also want to say it's just damned exciting and entertaining. And you're going to have a great time watching it and going on this journey.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, it's been an honor and privilege to be speaking to both of you. April 24th on Epix, Billy the Kid. Thank you both so much for your time.
Thanks, Petey.
Thank you, Petey.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.